What's going on, guys, and welcome to Rabbit's Used Cars. It's finally here. It's finally here. This thing brings out my inner mini trucker. I love custom trucks, especially custom dudes. I love taking something that is so useful and so utility and totally making it worthless. I love it. I mean, love, L-O-V-E, love. I love taking something that you could pull a horse trailer with. Don't slap it hard. You could pull a horse trailer with, pull a race car trailer with. This truck, you got to think, in 1996, you could pull a house off the foundation. 7.4 liter Vortec big block. Tons of torque, shitty gas mileage. And what do? They dropped it on its nuts, put a Cadillac front end on it, and some candy green paint. Yeah, I love it. Ain't it cool? This thing, but it is, and that's the thing. So, and we're not even really talking about big trucks or trucks or anything in general. We'll dig a little deeper into this unit a little later on. But now I want to talk about Hurricane hot rods. Everybody knows, if you got a television set, Hurricane Ida, the strongest hurricane hit, I think, the U.S. Category 5. Category 5. I don't know if you watch the Weather Channel much, but 5 is bad. You know, usually it's like level 10. Yeah, well, level 10 is 5. That's bad. You know, that's 150 mile an hour winds. And, you know, the thing is, you can prepare for floods and you can prepare for things. But the thing you can't prepare for is what that damn wind might be blowing. But that being said, this is going to kind of turn into a PSA because my transporters drug this thing right through the wrath of Ida and the rain. That's why it's so nasty. This thing is literally covered in water and funk. You got to be really careful right now. I'll be honest with you, I'd feel better about taking a mixed drink from Bill Cosby than buying a car out of Louisiana right now, because they did get a lot of water. Still, all the floodgates and all that they put in, they still had a lot of flooding. You know, people don't understand, well, I got a Carfax and a Carfax isn't safe. Yeah, that's great for your 81 up cars, or if they owed money on it. If it was never reported to an insurance agency, guess what? It's not going to be on a Carfax. Or if it's pre-1981, there ain't no Carfax. That little fox done got you again. That's my fox. Just in case you want to know. But anyway, you know, that's something you got to watch out for, because you're going to start seeing a lot of cars for sale. And the thing about water damaged cars, I know, you know, Ed, you know, had good luck with a couple of the turds he had. Water damaged cars are typically not the ones you want. And being in the salvage car business, I will tell you firsthand, waterheads, as what we called them, were the cars that were glorified parts cars. When I say parts cars, they were bodies. It affects so much stuff. And the thing is, the newer the car, the worse it is. You know, back in the day, an old car, you could drag it out down lake, dry it out, and hell, odds are it'd probably be okay. The only problem you got to think now, though, with the newer cars is all these electronics and modules and computers and ECMs and BCMs and whatever CMs and all this stuff and all these little plugs, and they get all this water and grit and sediment in there. The next thing you know, they dry them out and they work great for a little while. And then they start corroding. And things, next thing you know, your power seat coat's working, or your lights are flickering a little bit, or the radio stops working, or the air quits blowing cold. Water cars, that's the thing. Like when you're fixing a wreck, you got to be able to fix a wreck. You can't fix a terminal problem like water damage. That's the thing that I get at with people about wrecked cars. You know, if you had a car that was hit in the front and killed, you know, you take all the wreck off of it and you fix it and put a new front clip on it, you fix the wreck. Or if you had a car with fire damage, you removed everything that was burnt and you replaced it. You know, or, you know, stolen recovery, you know, you take the switch and everything they broke in it, you fix it, you fix the wreck. A water car, There's no right way to fix it. I mean, you can only dry things out so much. Moisture, mildew, water just works on everything. And the thing is, most of the time in flood situations, this isn't clean water. This is like dirty toilet water. Keep in mind, sewers overflow, all that stuff. So this is nasty water. This is biohazard type stuff. That's the thing that tickles me is the stories I've heard over the years why a car had a water brand. One of the best ones I've ever heard ever. There was a Z06 Corvette that was floating around for sale on Craigslist here locally a few years back. And the guy put in the ad, and get a load of this shit, it got a water brand on the title because his hot water heater exploded in the garage. I don't know if you've ever seen a water heater before. And I know I said it, hot water heater. I'm from the South, sue me. I don't give a shit. Your water heater exploded. Well, take any garage, 2, 1 car, whatever. Do you really think 55 gallons of water from a water heater is going to flood it out? No. Do you really think a garage is watertight? No. Water's never going to stand much deeper than this in the floor. Do you really think No, they didn't. That thing got pulled out of a damn lake, or it was in a flood, or it was something. And that's the problem with there's no good way for it to be a water car. Probably the best water damage story I've ever seen in my life. Because you got to think about another thing about water damage cars. A lot of times a car can have a salvage title and like warranties will still be honored. Let's say if it was just a wreck or fender bender or whatever, something small, still under warranty. If it had a problem with the engine, or if it had a problem with the rear end, that wasn't involved in the wreck. That was their problem. And they'll fix it and make it right. Water cars, they kill them all the way across the board. One of the funniest ones ever is my dad bought a 97, which is kind of funny, it's an OBS truck, but he bought a 97 Z71 four-wheel drive. This thing was you can tell on a water car, you'll have a water line on it when you buy it from the sale. Now, naturally, after they get cleaned up, you don't know where that line's at anymore. And if you're at the sale and it's a water car and you don't see a water line on it, that means it was above the roof. But anyway, this Z71 four-wheel drive truck, and you can see right there on the belt molding, you can see where the water was. So it just got right there at the bottom of the floorboard. Now keep in mind, a 97 Z71, which at the time was a pretty new truck, didn't have a whole lot of stuff going on the floor yet. You don't know where now they put modules under the seats, all your airbag stuff and all that stuff. Well, anyway, my dad bought this truck and it had a South Carolina salvage water title. But for some odd reason, like a glitch in the system, the warranty was still good. And I never forget, we actually took it to Tom Duncan Pontiac, which is not there anymore, but it was in Greer, South Carolina. Dad took it over there for something silly. I mean, I won't think a hub was making a noise on it or something like that. And they fixed it under warranty. Well, they noticed that the power seat didn't work right. I guess the mechanic moved the seat. They ordered him a new power seat. And then they ordered, it's like a handful of this stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, they're going to look this thing up and they're going to back charge your ass for this or something. And sure enough, they never did. My dad actually carried it back 2 more times and got stuff fixed under warranty on this waterhead truck. He drove for years and that was a decent one. But see, that's the thing is these old cars. And I'll give you a story of that. Water is the natural enemy of any old car. I stress this to people all the time, and I love washing cars. I'm like a little kid. I love hosing one down, just washing it, and I do. But the thing you got to understand, that water gets trapped in all these little crooks and crannies and crevices. I stress this to people. You can wash a car too much. Wash it, keep it wiped down. If it's really dirty, wash it. But you know what I'm saying? No, you don't have to wash it every week because, all that water gets trapped in the bottom of the doors, bottoms of the quarters. Next thing you know, you're going to have rust issues again. So that's a big thing. Well, you got to think about the same problem with this nasty water from floods and stuff, even in old cars. Maybe the electrical problems may not be as severe as a new car, but you got to think about that. And that's kind of a crazy thing. My grandfather had a 48 Chevrolet convertible that was in Hurricane Katrina, got flooded over the roof. And that car is still floating around today. And no pun intended. And it had been cleaned up, but we saw it at a show. And I knew that car like the back of my hand. And you could look when you raise the hood and in between the fender and the crevices of the hood right there down the firewall, you just see all the nasty down in there, all the dirt and stuff. Well, they didn't even clean it good. And they're still riding around in it. And the people that probably owned it probably never knew it was in a flood either. I mean, the only reason I knew that is because I knew the guy we sold it to. So right now, that's something definitely you want to keep your eyes open. And I know a lot of YouTubers will, oh man, I got this flood Ferrari and it's awesome. Yeah, that don't happen very. That's kind of like the stripper with a heart of gold. Probably won't stay away from that one, guys. We'll catch you next time at Rabbit's Used Cars. It's not on this one. Yeah. We're just switching. It's where you f***ing with me.
With you today.
This is how they got my Uncle Leroy. I'm just saying.
You shark.
I feel like I'm talking to a cross-eyed person. Like, which one? The camera one, camera two. Which one am I looking at? What's going on, guys? And welcome to Rabbit's Used Cars. This thing brings out my innie. This thing brings out my inner mini trucker. Matter of fact, it's kind of dirty. But that being said, I love it. I mean, love. L-O-V-E. Love. Love, 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 love. Love it.